Hi, this is Nichole Heady for Papertrey Ink, and welcome to Stamp-a-faire. And today I'm going to show you how to make your own mists using our ink refills and a little bit of rubbing alcohol. So the first thing I'm going to do is measure out some rubbing alcohol. You're going to want, for the spray bottles that we provided in your kits and that we sell in our store, you're going to want probably about 1/4 cup of rubbing alcohol. I'm just measuring it out in a glass measuring cup right here. And I found it easiest to go ahead at this stage and pour the rubbing alcohol into the bottle like that. And then you want to take your re-inker. And for 1/4 cup like this of rubbing alcohol, you want to add about 75 drops of the re-inker. And I like to do them in groups of 10 because it's a bit easier to count. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'll continue so on in the same manner. So after I've put all my droplets of re-inker in there, I'm just going to go ahead and put the lid back on here and shake it up. And that's really all you need to do to make your own mist. It's super easy and really inexpensive, and this way you can make mists to coordinate with all of the Papertrey colors. I've already stamped and heat embossed this piece of white cardstock with this really pretty image from Stitches and Swirls. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that mist that I just made and I'm going to spray it on top of the embossing. Now I'm heat embossed in white so that it will resist the mist. Now what I want to do is I want to get it a little bit heavier in this corner than I do in the other places, so you get that splatter effect. And what I also want to do is I'm going to go ahead and remove this lid, and I want to create more of an artistic look here. So I'm going to just take this nozzle out and just splatter this on here a little bit here and there. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside and let it dry for just a minute, and then I'm going to move on to the next step. Okay, I've let this, allowed this to dry a bit, so now I can finish creating my project. I've got a sentiment here from Them's the Word. I love the sentiments in that set. They're nice and simple. They can go on just about anything. And I'm going to add that to the corner of the card, like this. And then I thought this needed just a little bit of pizzazz, so I've got some new leaf ink refill on this acrylic block, and I've got some water, a paintbrush. I'm going to water this refill down just a little bit so the brush isn't too wet, and then I'm going to go back in and add green to each of the leaves. Just like this. It's quick and easy. It adds a really pretty touch. Get all these leaves here, and then I'm going to show you a little trick I do all the time when I'm watercoloring leaves, especially. Okay, I got that done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in and I'm going to get some of this ink that is a bit more intense and not as watered down. Get some on the tip of my brush, and what I like to do is just touch right here at the base of the leaf and kind of pull the color inward, and what it does is it creates a really nice bit of shading. Helps it to look a little bit more complete. And since the leaves are still slightly damp from the watercoloring I just did, the color bleeds really nicely into the leaf. Works out well. And I found that you almost can't go too dark when you're doing the shading, because since the paper's wet, it really absorbs a lot of the color. So the darker the better, right towards the middle there. And you can see there the shading that creates on the leaves. So I'm done with this step. I'm going to move everything out of the way here. You'll notice that my paper dried a bit rumpled. I could take the time to go iron it, but I'm feeling a bit lazy today. So what I'm going to do is just make sure, this is my little tip, I make sure I put adhesive pretty liberally around the edges of the card front, and that should help eliminate the wrinkles. I've got a new leaf card base here, and I'm just going to adhere that on there, and I'm going to flip this over. Smooth it out well. And there's that. And as the finishing touch, I'm going to add some pearls to the centers of the flower, so it just helps to give it a bit of dimension to the project. One more. And there's the finished card.